Hi, honeys. Welcome to Books and Hauls with Michele. Happy Festive Friday. It is the second Festive Friday installation. And tonight we're going to be having a St. Patrick's Day feast, but a simple one. I'm making Lambasa Stew. I'm making Irish bread, and we're going to have root beer floats, which you could use Guinness for instead. We just wanted root beer floats. The first thing that you do is chop up half of a head of cabbage. Got my Rachel Ray garbage bowl over here. And I'm using that moistened knife that I did the video on. When was that? About 6 months ago, I think now. I still love this knife. I think it's absolutely wonderful. It's so much easier to cut stuff like this. I don't have to put half as much elbow into it. But what I do, I get a smaller head of cabbage so that I can just cut the middle out and toss it in there. Then I don't feel like I'm wasting as much. And I like to cut my cabbage chunks kind of large. I just love that when I'm eating the stew, the way it tastes. And I've got my slow cooker over here. This is it up in the corner. So I know you can barely see it, but I'm not sure how to show you both at the same time. So I'm just going to drop everything in here. I do have a Reynolds slow cooker liner in my slow cooker. And you obviously you can cut up your cabbage to be quite a bit smaller if that's how you like it. I just like nice big chunks of it in my stew. Next, you take 5 red potatoes and you cut them up, but you do not peel them. You don't really want to peel them anyway. That's where all the nutrients are, is in the skin. Next, you slice up 4 medium carrots, or you can use frozen carrots. I got these little organic carrots, and they're a lot smaller than usual, so I'm going to use all of them. And then I'm also going to take this top part here and cut some of it up and put it in the stew as well. And I cheat with the spices, or the, whatever this is, the leaf. I'm just going to cut it. So we're coming up on the 2-year anniversary of when I started doing videos. And that's what part of this Festive Fridays is all about. It's not just showing you recipes and stuff. It's also just showing you how I put some of the things that I've reviewed or hauled over those years to work, how I use them. So I will put links to the mice and knife here. My crock pot is, it's like a Disney one. My Rachel Ray garbage bowl, anything on the table when I make the table, if I can find links for them, I will definitely send them to you. A lot of that stuff is from thrift shops and stuff, so it's a little bit harder to find links for them, but I definitely want to get as many links as I can for you guys. Some of them might be affiliate links. If they are, what that means is I just get a small percentage commission if you use them. Then next thing I do is I take polska kielbasa and I cut it up. And I really like this Coleman one. And I don't use the same knife for that. I use a different one, a little bit smaller. So I'll show you what I do here. So I cut it in half, and then I cut it in half lengthwise as well. Then I get those scissors again. And I just cut them like that. It's just so much easier than using a knife. Don't worry, I just cleaned the counter. But it's so much easier than using a knife to just cut them with scissors like that. And then if you find parts where the skin hasn't cut when you use the knife, you can just use the scissors to do that as well. So easy. And then you don't have to worry about cutting yourself as much either. Now I'm going to take this basil and oregano with garlic and sea salt. And I used to put a bunch of different seasonings together and put it on here, but now that I found this already mixed together, I just put about 4 teaspoons in here. And then I get about half a teaspoon of rosemary and sprinkle that over the top. Then I take an entire carton of bone broth. I used to use just regular chicken broth, but now I use the chicken bone broth with reduced sodium. You just put the whole thing on here. And I don't know what it is, but there's something about the combination of the herbs, the meat, the broth. It already smells good before I even start cooking it. And you just cover, I'm sorry about it being wet. I like to wash these right before I put them on because where I store my crock pot, it gets really dusty. So I like to wash everything right before I use it. And then I'm going to put this on high for 3.5 to 4 hours. If you want to do it on low, if you have the ability to do that in the morning, you want to cook it 8 to 10 hours. Now I'm going to make the Irish bread. Okay, it takes 3 cups all-purpose flour, 1. Whoa. What was it the count used to say, Brad? 1 something something. Right. The count on Sesame Street, how would he count?
1.
He would just say 1 and then laugh?
Well, 1 cup, 1 spoon.
So it'd be 1 cup.
Yeah.
2 cups. Not funny. Oh well. I tried. It fell flat. And 3 cups. One cup of sugar. All right, so it says a cup of sugar. I did a little bit less than a cup. It just seems like a lot, so we'll do a little less than a whole cup. 3 teaspoons of baking soda, or baking powder, sorry. That is not the same thing. I want to make sure I say it the right way. If you get baking soda, it's not going to turn out right. How much was it? 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I don't think that bowl's big enough, so let's get a bigger bowl. There we go. So much easier to do in a bigger bowl. Okay, and then in a small bowl, whisk egg, milk, and butter. So it's 1 large egg at room temperature. Flour all over me. Milk. Now the milk is supposed to be room temperature. So what I wanted to do was use this. This is that milk that you can get that is shelf sustainable at the Dollar Tree. So that's what I'm going to put on here. Or in here, I should say. Martin, out. Out. Could you get Marty doing something? He's like trying to get up here.
Martin.
I'll give him some catnip or something.
Come on.
Thank you, honey.
Martin. Nope, 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 Martin. Martin.
He's so fascinated with what I'm doing.
Come on. Martin.
So many people have cats that don't want anything to do with them, and our cats won't leave us alone. I don't know what we're doing wrong, but... Now I need to put this in a greased 9x9 cooking pan, and all I have is an 8x8, so I hope this works. This one's really deep though, so it should be fine. We'll find out the hard way. I'm just going to put it on a larger pan in case there's some spillover, but I'm going to go ahead and get this greased up while I wait for the other butter to finally melt. Okay, now I'm going to put the melted butter in here. Of course, it's hot, so I'm not sure what it's going to do to the other ingredients, but we'll find out. Okay. Then it says now this is the first time I'm making this, that's why I'm saying then it says, because I'm not real familiar with this recipe. It says to stir the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients until just moistened. Now, the next thing that you do is you fold in caraway seeds, which are optional. I didn't get them. They're really kind of expensive, but I don't really like small seeds like that in bread. Kind of weird. I like big seeds or nothing. And then, or nuts or something. And then it says 1.5 cups raisins or any other dried fruit. Well, I had a talk with Brad because neither one of us are too big on raisins in bread. And we both agreed that something else would be good. Just whatever, Well, what I found that sounded really good was fresh cranberries. So, and I found these at Albertsons. That's where I got them. And it just happens to be 1.5 cups. Isn't that the luck? So, I'm going to put those in there. And I'm not going to try to do what Robert De Niro wanted to do in Casino, where every bite had the same amount of blueberries. I'm just going to put them in here and hope for the best. Here's what it looks like. And then I'm going to transfer into a greased square pan and bake until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. 40 to 45 minutes. Okay. Here's my pan, and it's 8 by 8, but it's kind of deep, so hopefully that'll be good. And if not, well, I guess I'll just have to add if this ends up being good, I'll just have to add, I probably should anyway, a 9 by 9 pan to my Goodwill shopping list. Here we are. It's now been, I don't know, 3.5 hours, I think it was, that I did. And I've got my little vintage ladle. Do you guys remember these? But yeah, this is what it looks like. Doesn't it look good? Yummy. I got this ladle at a garage sale in, gosh, where did I get this? I think it was in Florida. I found it at a garage sale. And I was so excited when I found it. Okay, sweetie, thank you. And I've been looking for, they had a couple other ones in this set that you could get. It wasn't just a ladle. They had some spoons and stuff. Can't find them anywhere. We're still waiting for the bread to be done, but I am making root beer floats to go with our dinner. I've got some slow churned vanilla bean Dryers ice cream. Then I have A&W root beer. I know. Kids outside till 10 p.m. in this neighborhood. So I guess their parents are hoping they'll get hit by a car or what? I don't get it. Oof. Here's the bread. Looks yummy, and it does. It smells like a biscuit. Wanted to show you my St. Patty's Day decorations. On either side of this magnet board, I have these 3 shamrocks here. These are from the Dollar Tree. I just love how fluffy they look and sparkly. And yes, if you were wondering, that is me as a toddler. Over in my filming area, I've got a vase with these carnations and coins from the Dollar Tree. And then I've got this little hat here, also from the Dollar Tree. And the sign down there, also from the Dollar Tree. And then this, I actually made myself. I went and got I guess this is considered a vase, at Hobby Lobby, and I got the stickers there. I put them on. And then this is the same candle from the Dollar Tree that I've been using for quite a while. I really like the candle too, by the way. And then I also have this Irish garland that says Lucky on the little banners. And I also found that at the Dollar Tree. The only other Irish or St. Patrick's Day item I have is this cute little, it's like a reprint of a vintage St. Patty's Day card. And I have that on my mantle, and I found that at Hobby Lobby. And I'll back up so you can see the whole mantle in case you're curious what it looks like. Here is our festive table all put together. So we have the napkins and the tablecloth from the Goodwill. The spoons are the ones that we have that we use all the time. The placemats are from Pier 1, from when they were still open. These bowls are the Anchor Hawking bowls that I just got at the Goodwill, and these plates, I think these are from Walmart, the clear plates. And then this bowl is the bigger bowl from that I got at the Goodwill, the Anchor Hawking one. And I'm going to put the bread in here. And then you probably also remember this. That was from the thrift shop haul that I just did. So I'll link that thrift shop haul at the end of this video, since so much of what's in here was from that. And then this is that candle that I put together with a vase and some stickers from Hobby Lobby. The Luck of the Irish. Okay, well, we have had our festive Friday. We have ate. We are full. And I have to say, that was really good. The Lambasa Stew, I think I've mentioned. I've made it so many times. I've been making that recipe since before I met Brad. Probably 15 years now I've been making that. So I already knew I'd like it. But it's just a nice, hearty, healthy meal. It's not super salty like so many stews are. If you like even a little bit of salt, you have to add salt. Like there's, especially because I do it with the low sodium. It's not very salty. Which for me is a big issue with a lot of the stews. And the combination of the cabbage, the red potatoes, and the carrots is just wonderful. And then the bread, which this is the first time we've ever had it. It was so good. I would never make it with raisins, though, now that I've had it this way. It tastes like cornbread that's not sweet, with jam in it, like little specks of jam in it. That's because of the cranberries. Oh, it was so good. And not real grainy, but just kind of that. But it smells like biscuits, if that makes sense. But it was really good. And I even said to Brad, well, do you want me to make it again? Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. So I definitely recommend it. But the one big thing is, make sure if you make it, you use a 9x9 pan, not an 8x8, because you'll run into what I did, which is a nightmare of trying to get it to cook all the way through. It just got too tall as it rose. And then the root beer float was delicious. All that you do is you just put a couple scoops of vanilla ice cream in a mug, and then you put root beer in there. Now, I put whipped cream on the top. Brad said that's not a normal thing with a root beer float, but I thought it's really good. If you're doing it with Guinness, you would put, or any other Irish beer, you would put a couple scoops of vanilla ice cream, and then you put a cup of Guinness, 8 ounces, and then you top it with, are you ready? You top it with chocolate syrup, which sounds really good. But we just weren't in the mood for Guinness, and honestly, now that we've had this meal, I'm glad it wasn't Guinness, because it was a very filling meal. Like, I don't really think that, I think I'd feel too stomach heavy having Guinness also, but definitely recommend that meal. If you try it, let me know. Next month, the first Friday of the month, will be another Festive Friday, and it's going to be an Easter Festive Friday. If you have any thoughts about what I make, let me know. Otherwise, I'll probably just make whatever I want to make for Easter. But I'm gonna do an Easter spread. It's probably going to be more extravagant than St. Patty's Day because yes, I am mostly Irish, but there's not a whole lot that I like in the way of St. Patty's Day decorations to put on a table. But boy, don't you know, there's a lot of Easter decor that I can get. So I'm going to. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day or night. I love you. Bye.